Somebody help me, please. They're gonna break in. Please. Please, somebody. I'm begging you. I need help. I need help. Oh, fuck.
10-cent corporate murder squads aside, let's have a little chat, shall we? Now, you may know about this little game called League of Legends. You know, not a lot of people really play it. It's pretty small. And it's produced by this really small indie company called Riot Games. They hate women, but that's a topic for another video. So if you're watching this video, you probably play this game. You might be a vet or new, or perhaps you're considering whether you should download League of Legends and start playing for yourself. And I'm here to tell you, please don't. Whatever you do, do not play League of Legends. This game is awful, and not in the sense that the gameplay itself is bad, but rather everything that surrounds this game is a putrid, vile, toxicity-filled shit sock. But Voda, haven't you been playing this game for over 5 years? Yes, and I've hated every fucking second of it. Let's start off with the community. Really, you've got a few archetypes of players, and if you play long enough, you will eventually fall into one of these categories. Firstly, we've got the Ragnaros.
My main goal is to blow up.
Ban me, I don't fucking care. Having brain dead fucking retards like that.
This player is a toxic, flaming freak show. It literally doesn't matter what you say or what you do, this retard will spit out some stupid negative shit after they feed first blood in their lane. Oh, my team just got dragon and rotated for a T1 bot tower? Fucking waste of time, I'm being camped. Where's my jungler? Who cares? We lost anyway. Bro, shut up, please. While the rest of your team is actively participating and trying to win the game, this scumfuck dildo is either going to be AFK farming their lane, AFK typing in chat, or just straight up DC'd. Usually, this is the most common player in low elo, but they can realistically be found in all ranks of the game. Next up, we have the Tactician. Sometimes this person is pretty useful to your team, but 99% of the time, I wish they didn't have fingers so they could A, not be playing this game in the first place, or B, stop fucking typing. They think they know everything about the game and will constantly spout out some stupid bullshit about how their main account was Challenger last season, and how you suck and should add them after a game to 1v1. Realistically, this person was probably ranked Diamond a couple seasons ago, but now is so washed up they struggle to hit Gold each season. The Tactician is easily identifiable by how many words per minute they type. Completely unsolicited advice is also another identifier, as this person will have no issue reminding you multiple times a game that you're playing your champ and lane incorrectly. Okay, we get it, you were in a CSL team until you got benched. You can stop fucking typing now. Next up, we've got everyone's favorite person to play with, the One Trick. It's honestly not too common to play with or against one of these players, due to the fact that they will instantly dodge any game in which their favorite champion is banned or picked. Typically, this player is only sufficient in one role with one character, and is unlikely to willingly fill a position. But a word of advice. If a One Trick gets banned out in your game, and they insist on playing a fill role, just dodge and save yourself the 40-minute loss. On most occasions, these players will think they're the best person in the lobby, belittling their teammates when someone dies or makes a mistake. These players will also aggressively attempt to score first blood every single game without fail, and if they lose a 1v1, they will tilt into oblivion and never be seen again. The E-Girl, a personal favorite to some. The easiest to spot out of all the archetypes, if you see someone's name with any of the following keywords, it's likely that this individual is female and has an OnlyFans. Bunny, baby girl, angel, uwu, kitty, or any variation of fruit followed by the word kisses. These types of players will only play support champions such as Janna, Soraka, Yumi, Nami, or Sona. E-girls are very low-ranked shit-tier players, but are always in much higher divisions due to thirsty e-boys carrying the ever-living fuck out of them in ranked duo. Typical phrases associated with the e-girl are oopsie, sorry, :3, or please don't flame me, I'm bad. If you come across these individuals in your game, a dodge is highly recommended. And last but not least, the silent. God bless these people. I mean, these are the homies, the real OGs. They only communicate with pings for the most part, and the only time they type is to say GG at the end of the game. These players put up with all the bullshit that the rest of the archetypes give them, and try their hardest to win every game no matter the circumstances. Unfortunately, the silents themselves occasionally fall into other archetypes after playing this shitty game for so long. Truly the rarest of all players. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you see a set player, please send me their address. I'd really love to have a friendly conversation with them. Now, of course, every player is going to be assigned to a lane, so let's quickly go over what it means to be a specific laner. We've got top lane. If you pick this role, you want to be ganked non-stop for 15 minutes and come crawling out of laning phase like a broken and abused orphan. Jungle. If you pick this, you're a masochistic human punching bag who loves verbal abuse and getting blamed for every one of your other teammates' mistakes. Mid. You're probably a bipolar schizophrenic with a massive ego complex. And of course, bot lane. If you pick this lane, you want fun surprise visits from the entire enemy team every couple of minutes. So now that we've identified the vile night creatures of League of Legends and where they reside in-game, let's have a chat about the actual game. Okay, to be fair, League of Legends is in a state of constant evolution. There are so many factors and variables to be considered when pushing updates or making changes or adding champs. There is a lot of shit to balance, so I can understand how some things might slip past. However, is it acceptable for Riot Games to be pushing patches out that are consistently broken? Fuck no. With a company the size of Riot Games, there is no excuse whatsoever. And it's really disappointing to see year after year, more and more shit goes unfixed and swept under the rug. Alright, for example, and I know for a fact that this bug is still in the game, there's a Tahm Kench interaction with launching minions out of W that is still broken and has been broken since his release. It's frustrating to players when stupid shit like this happens in-game, as it's something that is completely out of your control. And speaking of things that are completely out of your control, let's talk about the monkey in the room. Monkeys in the room. The balance team. If I had $1 for every stupid, fucking meaningless bullshit buff or nerf the balance team put out, I wouldn't need to be working my ass off for YouTube. I have never seen in my life a more incompetent, shady, and inconsistent group of people. Now, there's lots of theories about how the balance team actually work. For example, some people assume that League is only balanced for pro play, and solo queue players just get the scraps of whoever complains the loudest on Reddit. But personally, and I think this is a pretty foolproof theory, I think the balance team has a button that says randomize, and every couple of weeks they just press the button and call it a day. Without this theory, I cannot explain or begin to understand some of the changes they make. So, to conclude with the balance team, They are bumbling, drooling retards that specifically cater to the highest level of play exclusively and could give less of a fuck about the 99% of their player base that is actually consistently playing the game. And there lies yet another issue, perhaps the most depressing of all: addiction. In my professional opinion, League of Legends should be considered a controlled substance and be regulated as if it were the equivalent of heroin. I found this really interesting tweet the other day, and I'm gonna read it out for you. @DumsYT proposes a challenge of sorts to describe League of Legends, and @SparksLol replies back with, "League is a game where the less you understand, the more fun it is. Once you truly learn how the game works and what impacts the outcome of the game, the less fun you have." Ain't that the goddamn truth? I've been playing this game for a long time, and when I think about how much time I've dedicated to this game, I genuinely get upset. You know, as most things in life, you can look back on them and say, wow, what a great use of time. I'm really glad this thing happened to me. But for League, it's just sadness. Like, for fuck's sakes, every time you get into a game, some stupid shit is gonna happen, and it's gonna make you mad or irritate you. And even if you win the fucking game, it's just like, meh, let's queue up for another one. It sucks. It's a gameplay loop of nothingness on the same fucking map over and over and over again. Riot doesn't even do cool shit like the winter maps anymore. It's like they don't care about the players at all. If you've spent more than a year, I'd say, playing League of Legends, you're stuck now. Congratulations. You will never be able to stop playing this game for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter what you do, you can try and uninstall, but you will always come back to it. It's like some sleeper agent shit that Tencent has created with Riot Games, and it's disgusting. I never have experienced a game quite like this, where every time I play with friends, everyone is miserable at the end, and we continue to play. Fuck this game. Listen to me. If you are learning, stop. If you are considering playing, don't. Okay, just trust me. There are so many other interesting and good games that deserve your time. League is not one of them. And this moves me on to my final point: marketing priority. I'm sure anyone who plays League regularly doesn't give a fuck about this point, but I figured I'd discuss it anyways. Now, as we all know, League of Legends is free to play, obviously, and Riot needs to make money to pay all those monkeys and misogynists that work there. So what do? Well, make skins, of course. Cosmetics for everything and anything. That sounds awesome, right? You'll be able to play your favorite champion with a ton of different cool skins. Oh, sorry, I should add a disclaimer. You'll only get new skins if you play Miss Fortune, Lux, Ezreal, Akali, Katarina, Ahri, or any other female character that's currently popular in rotation. Why? Because money. I don't even want to flesh this point out anymore. It just hurts me to talk about Riot Games' business practices. It's shitty. That's all you need to know. This game is just shitty now. I mean, League used to be so fun, but now it's a hollowed shell of what it used to be. I could continue to talk about how runes used to be completely unique and interesting. I could talk about how old champ design is just better than it is now. I could talk about how Riot Games actually communicated with its player base before being consumed by Tencent. Hell, I could even talk about shit like tribunals or the player forums that no longer exist. Now, I said it once, I'll say it again. There's no place for OG players. Throughout this entire process of writing the script and, preparing the video, I had the thought that maybe it was just me that had these negative opinions on League. And you know what? I'm sure some of you guys actually genuinely enjoy this game. But I thought to myself that maybe collecting some opinions from other people might be productive. So here's what they had to say about League of Legends. 30 seconds, whatever you want to say. What do you think about League of Legends?
Well, let me tell you something. I used to play the game a lot when I was a fucking young one. Now the game makes me want to just stab my eyes out.
Dictator? Mr. Dictator, how do you feel about the current state of League of Legends? Do you still play it? Do you enjoy it? What's the deal?
I do, but I don't really enjoy anything else, so this is the only thing I have. I mean, I have other games, but I kind of always come back to League. In my mind, the biggest thing I think we need right now is 20 bans. I think everybody should have at least 2 bans. There's just way too many champs in the game that are just broken and people can't deal with. Back in the day when they started and they had like 30, 40 champs and like
Something like
everybody
that.
still got ban each. I don't know. I feel like now when we have, 150 champs? I think it's 148 is the number. But yeah, we definitely need more bans. I also think the general knowledge in the game is lacking. People play this game with their brains off way too
True.
much.
Absolutely
it.
true. Yeah, I mean, I'm at a point too where I just can't even play normal games anymore. It just makes me so furious to play this fucking game.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. I like
The new champs don't even feel like champs anymore. They all have gap closers, teleports, something. And it's like, how do you play an old champ like Twitch that literally can't do anything and gets one shot by 100 different champions because they all have dashes?
You wait for him to get reworked in a year and a half.
and hope it doesn't
and
turn out like
what's he got?
Aatrox.
Well, first of all, to be honest with you, so I've been playing League since I want to say like 2015. It's probably around like 5 years now, on and off. And I gotta say that the on and off really just speaks for itself. Like, they change the game sometimes, right? Change the game sometimes to just be like a piece of shit. Like, it's literally just a trash game. Like, obviously that's why like it's free. And then roles like jungle for a time, ADC, like are just trash. And it's just like, if you play those roles, you just like can't play the game. Like, it's just not fun to you. Like, you just have no impact or whatever, and it takes them forever to revert their changes. I don't know. Sometimes it's fun. Like the game modes, like I even like One for All is a fun game mode to me. Like, I enjoy shit like that. But I would say that the actual like gameplay of League sometimes just gets muddled by Riot trying too much. I would also say that like the company itself, like, just sometimes like when they make these changes like that, just like if I had worked for Riot, I feel like I'm getting sexually assaulted by the game.
I had fun playing it for a long time. I mean, I definitely haven't played as long as a lot of people have, like including yourself. But it just got really draining over time. It used to be, fun to play with friends and, fun to just hang out and be able to play. But over time, it just kind of seems like the type of game that just really got to me over time. And it just made me so mad at times. I broke a mouse playing it. I broke a headset playing it. And it just drained all the fun from the game because it went from something that was, fun to play with your friends to something that just felt so competitive that it just completely lacked the fun that I cared about in the video game anymore. And it just kind of fell off for me because I just hated being so competitive all the time, even amongst my friends in the game. And so right now I've kind of fallen off playing a bit, but it's a great game. That's a lot of fun, but you have to watch how much it really affects your emotions. That's honestly my thoughts on playing.
Would you say that League of Legends is addicting?
Oh, heavily. Absolutely. League is probably one of the most addicting games I've played since I started playing video games.
Which is odd because we all hate playing it, but we keep playing it.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, is it makes you so mad that you feel like you have something to prove, at least in my mind. You just have to keep, you're fighting against yourself. You're proving, oh, I'm better than I used to be. I'm better against this guy. It just gets to the point where you're getting mad at other people and want to prove things to them, or you're competing against your friends to be better than them. And it ends up being a little toxic, that competition between yourself.
Well, folks, I hate to break it to you, but it's the end of the video, and it's time for me to go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.